Good morning, everybody. Kevin, very excited to be back with episode 4 of the third season of For All Mankind. A lot happened in the last one. Kind of like season 1, we had a 2-year time jump, going from the preparations for all three agencies that are sending a manned mission to Mars to the actual launch. So for me, this is kind of where things get dangerous with the show. Obviously the season premiere notwithstanding. Um, and we don't know who's on the Soviet flight, obviously, but on the NASA flight, Danielle and Kelly are both on that flight, and on the among others. And then the Helios flight, we have Ed and Danny there, among others as well. Um, so I do not expect everybody on all three flights to survive the remainder of this season. I think things are going to go wrong. If I had to make any prediction, which I really shouldn't, but I will, um, there's going to have to be some emergency level of cooperation among two or all three of these journeys because they're alienated, right? They left all kind of at the same time, because there is a window when you can go to Mars, which means they're all going to arrive at the same time. They're all going to be there kind of at the same time, and things are going to go wrong. And I feel like people are going to have to lean on each other, not just from their individual flight, but from others, to make it back safely. It's going to be tense. I'm predicting because it's this show. It always is going to be tense. The other big thing that happened in the last episode is Margo going full on Russian asset, which she was before, Soviet asset, as she was before. But now she knows she's really in the game. She's not being used. She let herself be blackmailed into complete and total cooperation. I said in season 2 that she had dangerously kind of dipped her toe into espionage, and now she is a full-on participant. She's kind of in her villain arc because I feel like the reason she did it was purely for self-preservation. Yeah, she probably saved Sergei, or at least that's what they wanted you to. They wanted her to think that she would be saving Sergei. But regardless, this what she ended up giving up the entire nuclear engine design so that the Soviets could go at the same time as well is a big giveaway in order to save herself and the man that she had a intimate crush on. We'll put it that way. So the only other thing I expect, and I completely do, is that there are going to be huge consequences by the end of the season for Margo. I don't think this stays quiet. Um, I don't know how NASA doesn't already realize that their engine design is on. I mean, the U.S. has spies too. That their nuclear engine design is on the Soviet vehicle, so it's going to come out. I don't know. Marga may have a redemption arc. She may not. But regardless, it is not going to end well for her. If she has a redemption arc, it's going to be self-sacrificial. I don't think this season ends well for Margot. And the way she kind of seized power, fired Molly, and made a group of sycophants, basically a panel of sycophants, to give her complete and total control over kind of everything happening at NASA at this point with no pushback from anybody. It's probably deserved. She is guilty of a lot of things she shouldn't be doing. All right, we're going to go and jump into it here, but I do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. I'd like to give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surya Gundavarapu, Weird Magic, Georgier Lingstad, Emily, Derek Peterson, and Where Panda 47. Thank you so much, guys. I'm really happy here with us. If you would like to see a full length reaction to this and everything else that we've watched or we're currently watching, please check out a link in the description below of our Patreon page. On every show, including For All Mankind, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you get done watching the YouTube edits and would like to continue, you can do it on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see and hear me for copyright purposes. We also wrapped up a couple of shows and just started The Wire and Gilmore Girls. And I'm loving both of them. I don't know how long the journey they're going to be here. Like, are they getting to Mars, or are we going to be with them? Because it's a long flight, right? Or is it going to be along for the ride with them? Okay, looks like along with the ride. God, everything, again, I know I say a lot, but everything looks so good on this show. They really don't have to do anything here. And this must be the Soviet one.
I guess it's time to break out that champagne.
Oh, way too premature.
Especially sweet to you that NASA will reach Mars dead last.
Roger that.
The day we win, I'm giving the entire Helios team an equal slice of that prize money.
Oh, so there was prize money for who got there first?
And we have beat the world's superpowers at their own game.
No, this is way too celebratory, way too fast. Things are going to go bad.
I gotta hand it to you, Ed. After we left lunar orbit, we pressed the pedal to the metal. But our nukes would have sucked up too much prop to get us to Mars ahead of you.
Sorry your old man had to whoop you so bad, but
Yeah, the other two flights aren't rotating, so they're not going to have any gravity. Do they actually have faster rockets and they are going to overtake them? That would ultimately be pretty funny.
Monitor their vector telemetry and patch in the NASA video feed. I want eyes on that ship.
Yeah. Okay, Ed's figuring it out. They are going to overtake them, aren't they?
Sojourner 1, Houston. How's the wind up there?
Solar wind? Are they going to put out, like, solar sails?
That solar sail is going to pick up enough photon radiation pressure to give Sojourner constant acceleration.
No, constant they're going to get to Mars really fast.
They're going to beat us by 8 days.
What can we do to retake the lead?
I'm sorry, but the math says it's just not possible.
So everyone's going to start doing stupid things to beat each other, and that's where things go wrong, of course. Also, I'm wondering if, because we've had the warning that Danny's kind of cracking, if Danielle's going to be right, that something's going to go wrong with him, and there's the potential that Ed finds out what happened, which is a small concern compared to the other really dangerous things. But the show seems committed to the Danny Karen thing, so looks like we're in for the long haul on that.
This so-called clean energy of helium-3 nuclear fusion. But it is the blue-collar workers, the coal miners,
wow, this is so real for
who are now
our world.
bearing the price for this progress.
So this was 95, so this is like the Rush Limbaugh character.
NASA's self-funding.
Oh, it's a good deal more than that. If we could tap into that revenue...
Absolutely
Oh my
not.
God.
That money finances our Mars program. I step foot on that slippery slope and Congress will drain the agency of all its cash.
My state had a budget crisis, and the very right-wing governors let them start raiding the highway fund until they completely destroyed it.
Okay, so let's go.
To JSC.
Yeah. Get back to your roots.
It would be a really good photo op, too.
Actually,
I mean,
not
really.
to mention, it'll be a great photo op.
Thank you.
if you're listening out
Great
there,
zoom.
I'm your DJ Kelly Baldwin. Hope you're enjoying the tunes.
This is cool. This is very 2001: A Space Odyssey here.
Roger, loud and clear. Going to channel 2.
Switching to channel 2.
I mean, so far Danny seems to be holding it together well, but there were some serious red flags in the last episode.
We take a closer look at another international member of NASA's crew, Roland Baranov, the former cosmonaut who famously defected to the United States.
Oh my God! They brought this guy back.
As many in the Soviet Union still consider him a traitor to their nation.
Terrorist.
Thanks, man.
This is very impressively done. There's also a lot of red shirts here, so I'm wondering how many of them are actually not going to make it. Everything is going so smoothly. I'm like, when does this all happen?
Do that bit from that film. What was it called? Love in the Sky.
How'd you like a flying lesson, sweetheart? Go, 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 go. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey Trace, grab that roll of duct tape, wrap it around me. Tight, damn it.
Okay, so Danny should not be here.
I'm counting on you to help me lead this group, and you do that by example. You still haven't taken me up on that game of spades.
Boy, I hate you because I'm in love with your ex. The crazy thing about this is exactly what would happen if there was real clean energy, like a really effective clean energy. Why is he there?
I'm Jack Gould with the Houston Sentinel. What brings you to the protest today?
Me and my friends are just gonna hang out after this, grab some beers. You wanna come?
You just got honeypotted, my man. When the internet was became effective, every travel agent in America didn't riot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
She's one of us. Not anymore, she isn't.
Man, Margo was such a hypocrite.
That when united behind a common goal, there is nothing the American people cannot achieve.
That was pretty good.
I love how Margo completely compartmentalized, ultimately responsible for some underhanded illegal stuff, at the same time sitting in judgment on everybody else. It's incredible compartmentalization.
I want to thank you all for your service to your country.
Charles used to work at NASA. He was an astronaut.
I was a moon marine at Jamestown.
I don't recognize him, but I'm assuming we saw him there.
Why was there even an issue with the reactor? I know it had a backup cooling system.
So these are just conspiracy theorists who are wrong. Welcome to our world as well. I've been called a round earther by some pretty stupid people online.
Callie's request hotline. What do you want to hear?
My crew, they are about to do something very dangerous.
Are they doing one of the things that the Helios guy suggested, like catapulting around a comet or something?
The Russians have just fired up their nuclear engines.
And they just boosted their TMI burn thruster by over 20%.
That's way too much. It could overtemp their engine.
How do you know? Oh, something's going on with one of their boosters.
Something's wrong.
If their engines could fire, they'd still be burning.
Are they going to have to do a rescue?
The Russians have admitted that their nuclear engines are in meltdown.
They're going to die.
We'll do it.
Ed, you don't have enough prop to pick up the Ruskies and break to enter Mars orbit.
We got a hell of a lot more space up here for their crew.
I keep forgetting y'all got a hotel and casino over there.
It's really happening? It's just going to be NASA?
So what do we think about his proposal to give up Mars?
Well, if a ship's in trouble, you go rescue it. NASA's a government agency. They're obligated to step up for stuff like this.
And NASA's done joint missions with the Russians before, but...
We are united in our decision to let NASA handle the rescue. Press forward to Mars.
Stand by for a course change burn. Adarsh, set the master arm to on.
Overriding it from... Oh, they're overriding it from Earth. Did Danny do it, or did Earth do it? I think Earth did, because remember they said they were going to automate it completely.
Software update.
Oh my god, they did it.
Use your emergency powers. It's been done before.
You're suggesting we march the National Guard over to Helios and commandeer private assets for public use?
That's more important than winning a race.
I mean, the Soviets are only in this position because Margo gave them their engine. I mean, really.
Cosmonauts will not like being rescued by a defector.
Hey, don't worry. I got your back, Rose.
What a mess. I'm really surprised that we really kind of only have one of the three ships going on in the very next episode. It really is on Helios now.
We are commencing our final approach for the rescue operation. If we could get access to their fuel, we could still make it to Mars. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, okay, that would be great. I would love that. Okay.
Maybe Houston could find a way to get the gas from their ship to ours.
Happily.
Seems very dangerous. There's such huge ships so close to each other.
What do you see? Engine 4 tied to bags of temperature on the Russian ship.
Yeah.
Immediately terminate all rescue operations and maneuver away from the Russian ship.
Oh. Well, that was bad, and at least 3 people are dead. So now is there going to have to be another I mean, it's possible. Holy crap, that was intense. That got intense way faster than I thought it was. Everything went wrong faster than I thought it was going to. I thought it wouldn't go wrong until we got closer to Mars. It went wrong immediately. Okay, I feel like at least 3 people are dead there. 1 cosmonaut and 2 astronauts. So far, and who knows what the damage is? Who knows if Sojourner can even get back to Earth now with the amount of damage it seemed to be taking. Yeah, that was intense. So now there are 4 cosmonauts because 1 didn't make it, and they still need to get away from the Soviet ship because it might explode. Okay. Well, that was what we call a cliffhanger. I'm obviously really curious about what happens next. My guess is that Helios. Sorry, I don't know the name of the mission. I'm sure they showed it at the beginning and I just missed it. They're going to have to go back, or I just can't remember. They're going to have to go back and rescue everybody now on Sojourner, right? Like, you're going to have basically all 3 crews on one ship. And I don't know, at that point, is it safer to go to Mars, regroup, refuel there, and then take off? Or is there going to be enough fuel to get everybody back right then? My guess is going to be, which I did not see coming before this episode at all, that basically what's left of all 3 crews are going to be on the one spaceship, which is the largest. It has the hotel, right? I think everyone kind of ends up there, and then we have to have a discussion about, okay, now can we? Is it safer to immediately turn around and go back to Earth at that point, or are we far enough along and have burned enough resources that it's actually going to be safer to just continue to Mars, stop land, get all of the resources you can off of the Sojourner ship, as far as the liquid hydrogen, and then refuel, make the fuel and refuel while you're there on Mars and come back so that everybody is kind of together. That makes the most sense to me from a narrative standpoint as far as the storytelling, because the other option is either everybody, everybody's kind of going back on the other 2 if they can, if their ship still functions, they're going back to Earth and it's just Helios's mission now, which I don't think that's going to be the case, because man, the race ended fast. But it does seem like the most logical thing would be that they kind of do a rescue and then everyone has to go together to Mars as it is. But so many extra people now. I mean, I know 3 died, but so far, I mean, like we had a legitimate cliffhanger when the poor Scottish astronauts face shield was punctured, which that only ends one way. I feel like so. Maybe there's this is going to sound morbid, but maybe there's enough death that happens in this accident that the Helios craft can actually accommodate all the survivors and still continue to Mars, not for the sake of the race and being there first and blah blah blah, but because it's the safest way to get everybody back home rather than a direct turn around and go, right? Like Apollo 13. Right? There was no direct turnaround, direct burn with Apollo 13. They still had to go around the moon. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but God, this show knows how to build tension, doesn't it? And when they want to have things scientifically go wrong in space, they know how to do it in a way that feels very earned and very real. And so that was brutal. There was a poor astronaut that got crushed between 2 spaceships. Yikes. All right. I very much look forward to seeing the next one, guys. Take care.